How are you guys doing? Before we get into everything, I just want to say, please like this video. Please click like. Why haven't you done it already? Why haven't you done it already? I asked nicely. Toxic niceness. Where doth I begin? Perhaps I could begin by verbally accosting the viewer. Fine, okay, if you're gonna twist my arm, I'm gonna be like, ow, please stop. Oh, you think you're cool because you're nice? Oh, you think niceness is the be-all and end-all of human development? Oh, you're polite? Oh, cool, that probably means you say things like, thank you, and you're welcome, and please, and I'm sorry. Oh, wow. You think your niceness/politeness makes you a good person? It doesn't. You probably already were one, so congratulations. What if I told you that niceness is bush league, and that's a term that the definition of which I only know based solely on context clues. I have no idea what that actually means. Please, someone tell me in the comments. I honestly am clueless. Niceness is baseline. And moreover, niceness isn't actually always good. Sometimes it can even be bad. Sometimes it can even be, dare I say, toxic. Or dare I say, dare I say toxic. Toxic niceness. Anyway, niceness is what makes bad relationships last longer than they should. Niceness is what keeps people from being honest with themselves and then others. Niceness can even give men a false sense of familiarity. What woman hasn't been hit on by a guy only to find out that his niceness was only a facade once the rejection sets in? I know I've had this happen. I've been rejected, or at least I have for the purposes of the point that I'm making. And I definitely remember at times being like, what? But I'm nice. I'm sure I thought that at times, maybe, I don't know, years ago. I'm sure I did, you know what I mean? Relatable. Niceness is not goodness. Niceness is a behavior, and behaviors change according to situations. Oh, and while we're on the subject, being a good person isn't something you should be rewarded for either. That's called positive reinforcement. That's how we teach dogs not to pee on the carpet, not how we conduct ourselves best as human beings. If you're being nice because you think you're gonna get something out of it, I have bad news for you. You're not actually being nice. You're just engaging in capitalism, only instead of offering $3 in exchange for a loaf of bread, you're offering 3 compliments in exchange for a piece of that sweet ass. Goodness and niceness are just foundations for further growth. After you get to that, there's all sorts of other things. There's intuition and wisdom and tact and grace and all of these other wonderful elements that you can learn about if you choose to grow as a human being. We learn niceness when we're like 5 years old. If you're still proud of the fact that you're nice, that's something you learned when you were like 5, 6, 4, 3? Maybe, I don't know, I don't remember. I was barely there. We get like 60 years on this planet if you live like I do. So why spend any of it doing anything other than trying to grow as a person or figure out which scotches taste best? It's all great, baby. I'm kidding. It's all scotch. I am not, it turns out, the nicest person in the world. Used to be, for sure. So much so that I struggled with being too nice. And so now I try not to be as nice, and I try to be more honest and more myself, and it's something that I constantly am going through. It's a personal growth thing on my end, which is why I'm making a video about it now. It's not, you know, this isn't so much like from my ivory tower type of thing. It's something that I definitely struggle with myself. But I try to make niceness not the metric I use for my self-worth anymore. Instead, I use my bank account because that always goes well. Yesterday, I was really frustrated with my apartment complex because they have a hard time understanding how garage doors work, or elevators. And I understand because garage doors, they go up and down, and it's like, who can keep track of all of those different, you know, moving parts. Same with the elevators. It's like those also go up and down, and it's like, oh golly, you know, how could anybody possibly figure out such a thing? So I went down there to complain because I had a hard time entering my own home, and when they gave me an answer I didn't like, I was like, so hold on, you're telling me that I'm going to have to use the call box to get into my own home for the next week? Now, here's the thing, that's not necessarily being a nice person. I'm not being a dick, but I'm also just being like, hey, really? Elliott years ago would have been like, oh golly, thanks for letting me live here, and now I don't do that so much because current day Elliott just wants to listen to The Killers, specifically their new album, specifically the song The Calling on it, without having to turn it down, so I can ask for permission to somebody I don't know to go, you know, can I go home now? No! Here's a meal voucher that doesn't work, go on, fetch! Mulaney. Daystorm lives here. I wonder if he's unhappy about the elevators. I bet he's not being overly nice about it. Certainly not as nice as those shoes he was wearing to the Streamies. I saw those, dude. Mamma mia! I would wear those on my hands and walk around if it meant that I could own them, because they were really nice, dude. Those are nice shoes. This isn't a video on materialism. God, those shoes were real good. He doesn't watch my videos. Anyway, the point is, learning that niceness isn't always the best and can sometimes actually be bad flies in the face of a lot of Southern culture, it can fly in the face of a lot of Midwestern culture. Heck, it can actually fly in the face of your entire upbringing. Because when you're a parent, what more do you want besides a kid who's like kind and polite? But as an adult, shouldn't you want to be an adult that's different? And I'm not saying this to say that being a dick is cool or that we should go around being needlessly rude. Of course I'm not saying that. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you're already a pretty good, solid person. Everything, whether it's the Bible or self-help books or other religious texts, most of the lessons in those things can be summed up with a simple, don't be a dick to people. But here's the caveat, here's the thing that people forget. You're also one of those people. And so what you do when you prioritize niceness over what's really going on is you start to be a dick to yourself. That's all you're doing. You're being a dick to yourself in exchange for putting up a nice facade so that you can get the sweet relief that is the approval of others. You see what it all boils down to? Freaking universe is tough enough. You gotta have somebody championing you instead of being like, you gotta be nice, you gotta be basically better be nice. Oh, you don't have to be. Always be. Go is still point being made, but got nothing to say. Nothing to say right now. Being an actual dick is when you deny yourself and your own needs, and yes, within reason, your own desires, so that you can pretend to be nice to everybody and get their approval. That's not healthy and it's not good. Life is chaos, be kind. Patton Oswalt said that in his newest comedy special, which is very good and you should watch it. Be in your own corner, okay? And like, be kind to others, and when you're faced with a certain situation that makes you feel a certain way or react a certain way, express it. Don't feel like you have to funnel yourself through niceness in order to earn honesty. Don't dilute yourself. Speaking of specials, my second comedy hour is titled Holy Shit, and I am going to be doing a showcase of it in Los Angeles on November 1st and 2nd. If you would like to come see it, it explores some of the very themes that we're talking about here today. You can email me at business@elliottmorgan.com, and I'll hook you up with everything. I'm just trying to get head counts for everything and trying to pack the place in, so if you can make it, I'd love to have you, and hopefully we can get this sucker made. Until then, I'm Elliott. I think you should be really nice to people still, and I think you should be really kind to people, but never at the expense of not being kind to yourself. Because if you start by being nice to yourself and kind to yourself, then the niceness that emanates from you will be real and genuine and pure and healing, and dare I say, holy. That's a reference to the comedy hour, which is called Holy Shit. It's very good.